Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time. First off, here we are in the middle of a Thursday afternoon, right before a big holiday weekend. So kudos to each and every one of you that are on this line right now, because obviously your business is extremely important to you and you want to learn, innovate, right, and come up with some new marketing strategies and get your foot in the door. So that's why we're all here, and I think you're going to definitely walk away with nuggets, like I always say. That's the point of these calls. So make sure you take out your pen and paper, notes app. Also use that Q&A box. We have that little question pane on the right-hand side. You might have to expand it or minimize it or move it. It's up to you, but make sure you know where it is and that you use it, especially at the end of the call. We have our webinar incentive giveaway that you have to, number one, listen to every single slide and our guest speakers, because the answer to the question is in the slides. And if you answer first incorrectly, we call your name at the end and you win. We have the Fire 8, the new Amazon tablet, and I have a new prospecting book that we will give you. Now, you do have to be an active Levinson agent, so make sure you have at least one carrier appointment, and you have to have written at least one application, okay, which is not a huge deal. So with that said, let's jump right in. What I want to share real fast is, first of all, I'm going to run for about 5 to 10 minutes. I want to share a new lead program we're launching on June 1st, and I also want to share some other things, what's going on here at Levinson, some new items that you will be interested in, and then I'm going to turn it over to Keith and Lauren, our guest speakers today. Okay, so real fast, now, as an insurance agent, right, you have to know enough to be dangerous, okay? And it doesn't matter if we're talking about final expense, term, estate planning, if you're working on a $200 million IUL, right, you have to know the basics. And when it comes to hybrids, right, when it comes to life LTC hybrids, there's no other game in town, folks, okay? When the word long-term care comes up, right, when your client says, oh, my neighbor Shirley and Johnny, they have this long-term care protection policy. I want to have something like this, but I hear their premium, keeps going up every month, every year, whatever the case is. And I need a policy like this, but I need something locked in. Well, there's literally one carrier that comes top of mind for us and for you all, and it's One America. So on top of that, what we're going to talk a little bit about today, and I don't want to steal any of Keith's and Lauren's thunder, they have lowered rates, okay? Not only that, they have a marketing program that we're going to go over today. So you're going to have the best hybrid carrier and products to choose from, okay, by the time we're done during this hour, and you're going to have different ways and strategies to get the word out and market the concept so you can open more doors and share the story. So that's the name of the game. And, I hear all the time, Bill, you have 90 carriers and, where do I get started? And should I get appointed with 62? And the answer is no, okay? We literally hand select our direct IMO carriers, okay? And each one represents a niche in the space. So the point is, keep it simple, right? So when it comes to term, we have a great selection. Obviously an A+ rated carrier or better with great premiums, great conversion, IUL, right? You want to pick a great carrier, great rating, etc., final expense. And then when it comes to long-term care and or hybrids, life LTC, One America. It's simple. Don't overcomplicate it. So that's really why we wanted Keith and Lauren on today, was to share the story and also talk about what's new, hot, and exciting. So they are literally our go-to, and I'm not saying it lightly just because they're on the phone with us today. I mean it. And again, that's why we're spending an hour with them this afternoon. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. What I also want to talk about, some brand new statistics that just came in. I'm going to touch on this quickly from LIMRA. Okay, and this is just, you talk about opportunity, right? And this is so important. Obviously, develop your niche, use your lead program. If you have a network group that meets, or if it's referrals or all of the above, great. But just think about this for a second, okay? And this just came in. I wanted to share. So life insurance in a time of COVID, okay, just a few stats I want to mention. 102 million uninsured and underinsured Americans who know they need or need more life insurance coverage. So think about that. Overall, 102 million either uninsured or underinsured Americans. Okay, the bucket is getting even larger. Okay, this is a big one too. COVID-19 has impacted consumers' perceptions about life insurance. 6 out of 10 consumers said they had a heightened awareness about the value of life insurance, and 31% said they were likely to buy more coverage this year due to the pandemic. Okay, the opportunity is bigger and better than ever right now. Okay, because you come in as Superman or Superwoman, right, saving the day, and you have the top products in every category. So this is another big one. Those who tested positive for COVID-19, 42% of that bucket said they are likely to purchase life insurance this year. Okay, huge opportunities. We're also going to include this study that was done again by LIMRA in our thank you email that will go out tonight. Another big one I want to point out: top reasons consumers buy life insurance. Okay, and this is big because you need to know enough to be dangerous, right? To pivot and get the door open. Top reason consumers buy life insurance: burial and final expenses. Okay, now that's great to know, right? Because you know how you need to spice up marketing and again get the door open, and then you pivot over to, let's say, a hybrid or IUL, whatever the case is. Top reasons consumers don't buy life insurance. Now, this is a big one, too. You talk about education. You ready for this? The number one reason consumers don't buy life insurance: they're unsure how much or what type to buy. Okay? There's a lot of confusion out there. And next, guess what they do? They go on Google. If they want to learn more, Google, hopefully your website comes up, your ad is up, your Facebook page comes up, right? And you're the go-to. That will educate the consumer. But that's great to know, especially as you're putting together your marketing pieces. Okay? Now, this is one more that I'm going to mention, and then we'll move on. So I thought this was interesting. Making the life insurance process simpler. Okay? And when you talk about easy, no exam underwriting, EAPS, okay, that's another huge plus with One America. So listen to this. Almost half of all Americans are more likely to buy life insurance if simplified non-med underwriting is used. Okay, these are LIMRA facts. So that's a big deal. Okay, what does it tell you? You need to get the message out and market this stuff. It's huge. Okay, so enough of that. Now, this has been huge. The last 2 weeks since I mentioned it, our new lead program, we all know there's no perfect lead program that exists. Okay, if there was, I think the four of us literally would be driving around in Rolls-Royce limousines and making life insurance sales all day. We'd be billionaires because it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. So if you find a good one, which is exactly what we're launching on June 1st, you hit the lottery. Literally, you hit the lottery. So we have one of our top agents, Ian, from California, on the other coast. He sells 100% over the phone and online, even before the pandemic. He's been using this program for years now, okay, as a pilot. Loves the program. In fact, he's going to be on our launch webinar, and he's going to share his take on the lead program. So we finally put together an unbelievable deal, 25% off for Levinson agents, okay, because of our volume. It's like the old Costco versus the local supermarket, you know, where you can save whatever, 20, 30, 40% because you're bundling. Same thing with Levinson because we have 21,000 agents versus, let's say, another IMO that has maybe 600. Okay, so again, leverage these opportunities, 25% off. Now, these leads, these are not conducted in a call center environment overseas. This is big, right? These are generated from social media, 100% from social media, mainly from Facebook. Okay, it's a big deal. They come in real time. Now, this is what I love. Minimum order 10. Okay, they don't hold your credit card and charge you every week or month. Pricing, okay, again, 25% off versus if you found them off the street. $35 per lead. These are 100% exclusive for local leads within a 50-mile radius. So if you're the guy or girl that has the gift of gab and you love to see people face to face, great. Within 50 miles, $35 a lead. Okay? Or if you say, hey, I'm the what do they call it? The keyboard cowboy, and I love getting on the phone and selling online, that's fine too. Save a few bucks. Statewide leads, $30. Okay? Our new CRM tool with Ringy, okay, that's a big deal. I'm going to share the training at the end. These leads integrate right into your Ringy CRM tool. That means you can buy 10 leads on Friday before the big holiday weekend. By the time you get in Tuesday morning, you already sent out 4 emails, 4 text messages. You can even have the automated dialer calling these leads, okay, by clicking a button. So by the time you get in Tuesday morning, you might have 3 or 4 appointments or meetings out of the 10 leads without literally getting on the phone, okay? This is no-brainer stuff, guys and girls. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this, so it's very, very exciting. And by Ian using the program for a few years, that tells me what I need to know. And then what we did, by the way, when we first looked into this, we added another agent to the pilot just to make sure, to be 100%. The program works great. We're launching June 1st. We're going to share the training details on the final slide and in the thank you email, so make sure you're on the launch webinar. We're very, very excited about this one. Okay, let's keep moving forward. So real fast, just a couple other things, and then we're going to dive into our feature presentation. What's new at Levinson? I feel like every day there's something new at Levinson, and I feel like if there's not, we're driving a horse in reverse around New York City, okay, which can't happen. We have to constantly innovate, right? We have to constantly think of new ways to help our agents, and if we're not, you can't grow and run a life insurance IMO business, okay? It's on or off, in my opinion. There's no middle area. So yes, these 3 columns are always going to be full. And again, I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm going to hit on just a couple, and then we're going to roll right into Keith and Lauren's presentation. Real quick, incentives on the left-hand side. We have carrier and product updates in the middle section, and then, of course, our tech tools marketing updates on the right-hand side. I'm going to tell you this weekend, we're going to launch the Carrie's Corner. Awesome editorial. I think you will love that. On top of the June 1st leads launch, the Your Family Bank training, we got some big and great stuff going on here. But yes, keep your eyes peeled for Carrie's Corner and that June 1st webinar training. I think this is all time well spent. It's funny. I was with a few agents at a home office, a Sagicor home office yesterday. And, we were one guy that was with us used to be a programmer. Okay, I think he's even on the call right now. And what we were talking about is like how the industry was 20 years ago, when we first started and where it is today, and how 20 years ago you had to be a life insurance whiz, right, and have the best personality in the world to be successful, right? And you had to have that drive and that effort that was 110% nonstop, 24/7 to make sales. And now what happened is, okay, and as time went on over the years, yes, you have to know enough to be dangerous. You don't have to be the insurance whiz. But if you know the basics, and then you know the basics with technology and social media and marketing, that's where most of the business is coming from now. So the shift happened, okay? And what that tells you, I don't care if you're 17 or 82, right? Know enough to be dangerous on the life insurance and the product side, okay? On the, let's call it the right side, on the left side, know the basics with technology, with social media marketing, with running your ads, with eBlast, with a CRM tool, okay, using like Ringy and pressing a button for autopilot. Okay, and that's it. Once you figure both sides out, again, you don't have to be an expert on either side. Okay, call it halfway, 50, 60%, boom, you're off to the races. And our platform is dialed in just for that type of agent to know both sides. And literally, you figure it out. We have the training, marketers here to help. Boom, you're off to the races and hopefully happy, making more sales, and you're a successful agent in our industry. Okay, without further ado, we're going to jump right into today's feature presentation with our VP, Mr. Keith Birkin, and then Keith is going to introduce Lauren in just a minute here. Keith, you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, buddy.
All right, good. Good. So let's go to show my screen. You guys are now able to see my screen, correct?
Yep, we can. Yep, perfect.
Okay, very good. So, hey, Bill, Andrew, Carrie, everyone at Levinson, thanks so much for having Lauren and I on today. Man, I'm always so blown away, at the beginning of the meetings and all the stuff that you guys talk about with what you have to offer. We go back a long way. I work with a lot of agencies, but I got to tell you, few do it as well as you guys. So it is very impressive.
Thank you, Keith.
Oh, absolutely. So thanks for having Lauren and I on today. Today was really initially designed to go over some of our marketing programs as well that we have at a carrier level, good content, some really good things to help you guys drive the message and drive business. And this was set up about 6 weeks ago. And within that time, as Bill mentioned, I got to tell you, I'm doing this 20 years as a carrier rep. I've never, ever been able to call up a client, agencies or agents and say, hey, guess what? We're reducing pricing. So that happened and thought it was just too important to not include that in what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to take about 10, 15 minutes to show you what this is going to look like. And today is the perfect day to be doing it because today is the day we go live. You're able to go in and get quotes. And again, you can work with Andrew, Josh, Bennett to run these quotes for you. It is live today, May 26th. And let me just bury the lead right away. We're going down about 8%. It's really significant on nearly all of our asset care funding solutions, with the exception of 5-pay and 10-pay. Those pricing, there's no change on the pricing there. Do not fear if you currently have a pending application in place. Any pending applications will automatically get an increase in benefits to reflect the new pricing. We're not going to decrease the premium 8%, we'll increase the benefits by 8% unless you personally request the latter. We will reduce premium, but we're just going to automatically, on any pending business, increase it by 8%. Furthermore, if it's a placed policy that actually was taken out, paid for, and placed by April 26, those people are not going to be penalized. We'll go back a month and look at placed business only upon request and honor the new pricing as well. So pretty significant in what we're doing. For those of you in California, the new pricing will be reflected on Asset Care 1 and Asset Care 4. And there's going to be a change as well with how we work with our qualified money solution. But let me give you an example of what this new pricing is going to look like. So here we have a 60-year-old couple, and here is what the pricing would look like, the difference on a single premium approach, a single lump sum of money paying for the base and the rider. So the non-updated pricing, again, it's updating today, but before the change, for this couple trying to get $6,000 a month per person as their LTC monthly benefit on a lifetime benefit rider, they would need to come up with a single premium of $175,896. But with the price change, that's again going live today, we're able to reduce that by about 8%, all the way down to $160,000. It's about an 8% drop. That's fairly significant. Again, I've never seen a price reduction with any of the companies I've ever been with. Another way we design our solutions is, instead of single paying the base and the rider, we can single pay the base and annual pay the rider. And that's what we're showing here. Same 60-year-old couple trying to get $6,000 a month benefit on base and rider. And instead of having to come up with 175,000 and change, they'd be coming up with 119,000 as the single premium, but paying an annual pay of 3670. So they don't come up with 175, it's like 56,000 less. They're going to do an annual premium. But this is going to now be reduced also by 8%. We're not going to reduce the annual premium. We're going to reduce the single premium. It's going to go from 119,000 down about 8% to 107,000. So we're reducing this everywhere. Single paying the whole thing. If you single pay the base and annual pay the rider, that's going to change. And on our recurring premium options, we're doing this on our annual pay, which we call pay to 95, and our 20 pay. There is no price deduction on 5 pay and 10 pay. But the non-reduced pricing, same couple trying to get $6,000 a month as their LTC benefit on a lifetime chassis, they would need to come up with an annual premium of $10,384. With the current pricing reduction, that annual pay is going to go down about 8% to $95.18. These are significant. That's almost $1,000 a year in less premium out of pocket to get the same benefits. Really exciting stuff. Now, where this really comes into play, and this is going to lead into, today really isn't about product training, but I do want to leave you with one really good sales idea, and it's around our qualified money solution, and specifically how that works so well in tandem with legacy planning and the Secure Act. But first, let me explain how our qualified money solution works, show you what the price change on this looks like, and leave you with a really good sales idea. And then we'll turn things over to Lauren Zanders from our marketing team. Really excited to have her with us. So our qualified money solution, we call it annuity funding whole life. And the way this works is very simply, we just roll over a lump sum out of your client's existing IRA, 401k, or 403b. So in this example, we'd roll 150,000 out of their IRA into an IRA that we've created at One America in their name. And in that IRA is sitting a single premium fixed deferred annuity, not a SPIA, but a fixed deferred annuity. Now, the first function of this annuity is to give their money an earned income bonus of 10%. And here's where the significant change is with our pricing reduction. We're changing that bonus from 10% to 20%. That is absolutely huge. I'll show you what that looks like, what the difference it does to benefits. For now, we're just going to leave it at 10% to show you how the product works. So again, we roll a lump sum out of their IRA into an IRA at One America, where it goes in an annuity that gives it a 10% bonus, which now makes their 150 worth 165. And all we do is take that 165,000 sitting in this IRA, in this annuity, and we're going to use that to fund 10 equal payments over 10 years into one of our asset-based 10-pay policies. So in this example, that would be $16,500 a year, every year for 10 years. So year one, we'd pull out that $16,500. Now, is that taxable? I'm sure some of you are asking yourself that. And of course, the answer is yes. We're pulling money out of an IRA. But remember, where it sat before, as 150,000 was originating from an IRA, it was taxable anyway. But look what you're able to do. You're able to take 150 grand in one lump sum in one transaction, bring that over, not get dinged on taxation of 150,000, but spread that taxation out over 10 years and be given roughly, well, not roughly, in this example, 16,500, and that number gets so much better with the pricing change to offset a lot of that taxation. And by the way, this will satisfy all of and or portion of required minimum distributions. So every year we pull out the 16.5 to make the premium payment into the 10 pay until after 10 years, we've now drained the annuity and the IRA down to zero and have fully funded this 10-pay policy. So this is a 61-year-old male, and as you can see, we're able to add their spouse. Even though the money originated from his IRA, which you can't buy insurance on two people out of, he's able to add his spouse because we're passing it through to the IRA at One America, distributing it out of that, paying tax on it, which means they can, in fact, add their spouse. And this is what this policy would look like. Just a death benefit of 176, a monthly benefit of just under 5,300 per month per person on a lifetime benefit. And remember, anyone goes on claim with any of our asset care policies and it's a recurring premium, we waive those premiums. So if either one, husband or wife, goes on claim during the 10-year funding process, the $16,500 would not come out of the policy or come out of the annuity to make the premium payment. It would just sit there. And we would still consider that year's premium earned into the policy. So how does this look with the change? Remember, we're changing it from a 10% bonus, doubling it to a 20% bonus. So if we look at same thing, $200,000 being rolled out of an IRA, before the change, it would be a 10% bonus, gives them another 20 grand, which means it's 220,000, which means we'd pull out 22,000 a year for 10 years, and that's what this policy would look like. But with the change, we're changing that 10% bonus to a 20% bonus. So their 200,000 rollover is going to grant them a $40,000 bonus. So now that's 40,000 plus their premium of 200. That's 240,000 sitting in the IRA in the annuity, which means we'll pull out $24,000 a year every year for 10 years instead of 22,000, which means it's going to buy them bigger benefits. We're going to bump up the LTC monthly benefit just about almost $600 a month per person to $71.86, which makes it grow, of course, annually. Now it's over $86,000 a year instead of $79, and the death benefit is going to go up quite significantly from $219,000 up to almost $240,000. I love the qualified money approach, that 10% going to 20%, and that's going to lead us into our sales idea, and then I'm going to hand things over to Lauren. So as many of you are, I'm sure, are aware, the Secure Act was passed within the last couple of years, and it changed the treatment of inherited qualified accounts, stating that those that inherited an IRA, 401k, or 403b as a beneficiary now have to get all the money out of those qualified accounts out within 10 years, which makes, by the way, this solution perfect. If you just inherited the money, you got to get the money out in 10 years. This is a 10-year funding period. Great idea, great use of those funds to put together a protection product. But the story actually gets better than that. Why wait for them to inherit the money and have to get it out then? This is something that can be used, this solution, as legacy beneficiary planning for qualified accounts. Here's an example. An 80-year-old female, but for argument's sake, she could be 85, she could be 90. Of course, we can't do a policy on her because our age limits start at age 8, end at age 80. So 80 and over, she couldn't get a policy, but she knows within the next 5, 10, 15 years that she's obviously gonna pass away at some point, and she's gonna hand over her qualified account, her IRA, to her children. So what she can do is, why wait till she passes away and have them get burdened with having to get that money out in 10 years? She can set this up for her children now while she's still alive. What we would do is set the IRA up in her name, and the annuity would be in her name. That money comes over, it drops in, and we give her, here it still says 10% bonus, but as of today, it's now a 20% bonus. So in this example, this 80-year-old woman would bring over $150,000, and instead of it being a $15,000 bonus, it'd be a $30,000 bonus. So now she'd have 180 instead of 165, which would bring over $18,000 a year for 10 years. But the life insurance policy with the linked lifetime LTC benefit would be on her son and the daughter-in-law. They'd be the owner of the life policy and the insured, and the grandchildren are the beneficiary. And even furthermore, if she's 80, there's a very good chance she's in a smaller tax bracket than her working 60-year-old son. She can even pay the tax on this distribution every year using the gifting strategy. I mean, what an incredible idea. This has to start opening some doors for you and opportunities for elderly clients in their 80s, early 90s, sitting on qualified accounts that they really don't need any income off right now. They know they're going to hand it down to their children. And here's something they can do. It's a beautiful thing to do for your child. Get some of this money out now and set them up with a protection product that's going to protect their nest egg, the nest egg they're going to inherit, and most importantly, their grandchildren who would be burdened with obviously the caregiving should they need long-term care. And this is how it's structured. Pretty simple. At the top tier is the mother, the 80-year-old mom. She's the owner of the annuity and the IRA, no underwriting there. The kid and the spouse would be the insureds, and the grandchildren the beneficiaries. Great idea how to use this solution. So I want to end there. Don't want to take up too much time. I don't know if there's any time for questions at the end, but certainly always happy and willing to answer those. So I'm going to pass the baton back, and very happy to introduce Lauren Zander. She is one of our sales development consultants, a phenomenal resource and tool, and she's going to walk you through some of the incredible marketing tools and solutions that we have available to you. So Lauren, the floor and mic is yours.
All right, fantastic. And hopefully you can now see my screen.
Yes, we can. Perfect.
All right, fantastic. Well, again, thank you. And to echo what Keith started off, thank you to, our partners at Levinson and the opportunity to speak with you all today. I know you hear a lot about products and so many different solutions out there, and we wanted to bring something fresh, something new, something to help you in refining your best practices, to give you some tips and tricks to help you in enhancing and really leveraging the power of social media. And what a great segue and start, Bill, to all of the efforts and resources that you make available to your agents from a social media lead gen standpoint. And, we'll be able to add to those best practices and being able to, utilize different ways that you can engage and be able to create more exposure and be able to reach more clients, whether it be prospects or existing. So couldn't be more excited as a segue on that topic. And so as Bill and Keith mentioned, Lauren Zander, sales development partner here at One America. I've been in this role for a little over 3 years now, so I have had an opportunity to really work at all facets within our distribution at both the agency level and at the individual advisor level. And what sales development is it's a dedication of our expertise to be able to develop strategies, to work alongside our partners like you all here on the call, financial professionals that are looking for ways to kind of fill the gap and being able to kind of boost their marketing efforts, reach more clients, and that have a focus on the long-term care solution. So, we not only develop strategy, but we also help with the implementation of it. And today will be a best practice session mainly, but we'll share have a few minutes at the end just to kind of give you a quick showcase of some of those programs and different resources and technology and tools that we have just to kind of complement what you're doing. And so couldn't be more excited. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Now, to add to, Bill, the stats that you provided, I actually have one as well to share with that was provided by Life Happens. And they actually uncovered, that there's over 64 million adults that are looking for an advisor. And so although that market is there on social media, the disconnect there where we can help in bridging that gap through best practices, it might be with your current social media strategy. So are you really thinking strategically about how you can use social media to gain new clients, or are you just posting to post? So we'll really be able to create some clarity there and some takeaways. So hopefully you have a pen and paper handy just to jot down some of the ideas that you hear today. Being on social media, it's consistently where, we need to be as financial professionals. And really never has there been a better time, right, to network, to advertise, to promote yourself and what you're doing right now And we certainly don't want to be left behind. We want to maintain our relevance, and maintain our ability to be profitable now and in years to come. Not only are we facing an ever-evolving digital landscape, but consumer expectations are shifting. So, really being proactive through the use of social media platforms, it's a golden opportunity to be able to reach more clients and prospects, and on topics that are very important to them, right? Protecting their families, their businesses, and we're here to help take the guesswork out of that by giving you some ways to define or refine your social strategy. So hopefully I can go to the next slide here. It's not letting me. There we go. All right. And so on top of the evolution of the digital landscape that we're finding ourselves in, there's a lot of changes that we've had to adapt to, right? So we have to be able to adapt, enabled in order to thrive. And, if we don't learn to embrace change, and if we're not able to move forward, we're going to get left behind. And I don't know about you guys, but being left behind is certainly not an option. So really engaging and leveraging social media to reach our clients. If you're not doing it, someone else is. So as far as some of the topics that we'll discuss here on the agenda, we'll be covering concepts that define the idea of social selling and best practices to help you better connect, grow, and develop relationships, and enhance your influence to grow your business. We'll cover ways to optimize your presence, starting with the very basics, from content strategy, must-haves, messaging relevancy, and we'll include some tips and tricks to amplify your messaging in order to gain exposure and heighten engagement. And then if we've got some time at the end, we'll want to showcase some of the tools and different marketing platforms that we've developed and that are available to you all to help you spend less time in planning your LTC marketing efforts and more time helping clients and prospects who need your expertise. So we'll arm you with kind of what happens next and giving you full access to, our full suite of marketing content, from social media posts, the graphics, interactive video content, email templates, all exclusive email campaigns, all of which can be personalized to make it your own. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So I'd like to have you ask yourself a question. What exactly is it that you want to accomplish using social media? Well, like most, you probably got several ideas in mind, and some of the most common might include the bullet points here that you see on the screen. And the problem behind that is that many of us will try to achieve several, if not all of them all at once, and across multiple platforms. So you're looking at, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, etc. I know, getting a little ahead of myself now, but, trying to do so many things all at once, it can be a little, overwhelming, right? So you can face burnout just by simply taking on too much. So instead of trying to accomplish all of these objectives all at once, consider prioritizing your objectives that align best with your business goals, and then establish your social presence where your target audience is predominantly present. Some of the best practices that I've included in this presentation are focused on Facebook and LinkedIn. So know your audience. There's a huge market right there through those two platforms. So once you define what those objectives are, you'll want to build and grow intentional connections through those platforms, right? Think about connecting with people who can help you build your personal brand, as well as people who that you can help, right? This might be admired influencers, friends, former colleagues, employers. There's really no shame to looking to others in the business who have been hugely successful in using social media to grow their business. Take note of the number of followers and baseline who they follow, posting frequency, type and context of content, and the engagement that they get on each. Let others lead you by example. There's no shame in that. And, add your own personal twist to it, and you get some great takeaways right there. So in closing of this slide, in building intentional connections, I just want to quickly spotlight LinkedIn for just a moment. LinkedIn continues to be a rising star in the digital space. More and more people are using LinkedIn as not just an online resume tool. They're using it as a way that they are able to connect with likely decision makers in households. It's a tool that I think and feel very strongly that every financial professional at a minimum should be utilizing. And it's shown, based off of data that, it's shown consistent and considerable growth in active users and engagements. And so we'll give you some tips and tricks on, the LinkedIn aspect, what is kind of unique to them and their algorithm. Not to mention, they're continuously launching and making available, new features and ways that you can drive business and results and be able to kind of grow your network there. So more to come on that. But let's go ahead and move forward with starting with the basics. Sorry, to get a drink of water. So the first step in, optimizing your presence is going to be, creating and maintaining authentic brand and persona, right? That resonates with your current and prospective clients. So that really starts with the basics. It's the look and the feel of your social profiles, your business pages. It's your first shot at making, that credible first impression. So the look and feel of your profile is, a very important component of not only the way you're impressing other people, but also to the algorithm of complete profile. So the more complete your profile, the higher algorithms are going to, rank your profile as, and the content that you're pushing out. And so some of the profile elements here that we'll point out is what is the makeup of that complete profile, and has a huge impact on your reach and visibility. So the first one here, professional headshot, that plays a huge first impression. Having a professional, high quality and current headshot, company logo, and complete the look with a background image if you can, which could be that company logo, and a current headshot as well. With a headliner, you can have a headliner through LinkedIn. That matters. It makes a huge impression. It's kind of like your digital handshake. It should speak to who you are, what you do, who you help, and how. Just keep it true to your mission, your personality and perspective, and you'll attract the right kind of connections and networking opportunities that you want. With your profile summaries, be engaging and be outcomes focused, write in first person. Don't be afraid to inject personality. Just make it memorable, but clear away from salesy and unprofessional jargon. With your experience or bio, like I said, with the first impression, when someone that stumbles upon your profile, they're going to be able to see, how they can benefit from your help, right? And with one thing that people miss with their experience or bio profile summaries is that we don't include a call to action. So including a call to action at the end with a website link, maybe a book an appointment link or something that allows a prospect to take action is going to be huge in order to be able to convert, those prospects into leads. For client reviews, if you can add client reviews and testimonials, that will add to your credibility, what sets you apart from the rest. Experiences are the new social currency, in my opinion. Make sure your profiles are compliant friendly and make them public to be able to maximize your exposure, and mobile optimized. So in conclusion here, the significance of having a complete profile is not just to reinforce and build credibility, it's to be able to have those profiles that rank as complete, and these can get as much as 20 times more views as incomplete profiles. So taking that time, to really optimize your profile plays a huge part in what you're doing through social media. And social media, so looking at content relevancy, the types and mix of content that you want to use, it can be a huge waste of time if you're not intentional, and intentional meaning not only the mix of real and relatable content, but the actions taken to enhance your visibility and gain attention. So it's important to show up on social media daily so that you can inform, educate, inspire, and entertain your audience. We also have to know our audience, right? Targeting the ideal prospective client requires content that establishes your expertise and attracts readers to not only you as an expert, but as a person that they like, know, and trust. And so knowing your audience and tailoring that mix of content that both educates and entertains is going to be key in building rapport and trust with prospective clients. And it's a great way to stay connected, engaged with, your current and existing between sales. So, it can yield more referrals and increase attention as well of your client base. So a couple examples here that you see on the screen kind of encompass the idea behind a mix of content that not only educates but entertains. The idea behind educational type content is just bringing enormous value, right? We want to add personality and diversity. We want to offer live educational events, promote virtual workshops through social media, ask open-ended questions, create engagement through Q&A sessions, use blogs, interactive content, quizzes and polls, things like that. Look to some of your influencers that are successful in your market and take note in how they're leveraging social media. One thing is status updates. They get more views than just simply sharing an article. And video content gets the most kind of engagement just for the simple fact that people find video more compelling. And videos can really help spark that realization of coverage needs in a relatable way when it comes to educating consumers on the importance of life insurance protection. With entertainment content, as humans, we're attracted to authenticity and transparency. We want to engage and be engaged on a personal and casual level. So it's elements that like sharing quotes like you see on the screen here that create more of an impressionable atmosphere, allowing people to feel less intimidated and more open to interaction. So sharing a quote, maybe a picture, a personal story that people can relate to, that's going to be able to help you in building that rapport in that entertainment type content mix. Asking people to comment and share their stories and engage, with other people's posts other than just liking it. It's really going to create that, the ability to have others be able to engage on your posts if you're engaging on theirs. Entertainment type content, 2 to 3 times a week minimum, just with content that has nothing to do with your business. It's about giving, some ideas as far as, ways to, provide that type of content, becoming active in interest groups that you're passionate about through blogs, Facebook, LinkedIn groups, or industry sites that resonate with the people that you want to serve. Just help them in, like, knowing, and trusting you. It's really a recipe for building, meaningful relationships. With amplifying the message here, I'm looking at our time. We've got 10 more minutes here. Being social requires that two-way interaction, as I mentioned. So not only do you want to start conversations, but you want to participate in conversations that others start. So you want to build that engagement by interacting, not just pushing content out. And when you're reaching out to someone, be sure to include, a thoughtful note. If you're reaching out to them via like a message, that explains your intentions and you're familiar with their work ideas or mission. Create that personalized approach. Be concise and direct. If you're connecting with a new prospect, focus on what you can do for them, not the other way around. You'll want your LinkedIn feed or your Facebook feed to be populated by businesses and people that you can learn from, sell to, or help in your career. So running social media ads, as Bill had mentioned, that tool, it allows you to put your content in front of target audiences, be able to create that lead gen, choose a clear call to action that you want them to take, whether that be a website link, that lead gen, or, to help with those conversions. If you're a beginner on social media, like the ads, you might want to look to boosting some of your previous top performing posts. That might make sense with your social media objectives. Boosting just means, putting advertising dollars behind, a certain post already on your profile. And so depending on which platform that you're advertising on, you can also invite people who have reacted to your ad to like and follow your business page. So just FYI, we've got some DIY kind of walkthrough videos on boosting ads. In case that you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to us. A couple of posting strategy must-dos with any kind of post, video, text, that call to action ask for likes, shares, or comments. The more engagement that your posts get, the more popular they become, the higher likelihood that algorithms are going to keep those posts fresh in people's feeds throughout time. Interact with other people's posts. Before engaging, learn about others' interests so you can tailor your approach when reaching out to make a connection. And when sending a direct message, every time you write a message, ask yourself, would I respond to this message? If not, maybe reconsider what you're going to say. And if you're active in your email marketing efforts, just be sure to invite your subscribers to follow you on your social channels. And likewise, your website, if you have a blog, should include links to your Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other active pages. The more, the more plugins that you have to be able to cross promote those different channels that you're active in, the better, the more you're able to drive people to those different sites. Now, I know that we've got about a few more minutes. I want to make sure that we spend a little bit of time just doing a quick demo of some of the marketing programs and ways and the options available to you here at One America. The first of which is our marketing store, and then we have our marketing toolbox. Now, the marketing toolbox is a site that's open to all financial professionals. You don't have to have login credentials to be able to access it. You just have to attest to being a financial professional, and you can have access to all of our generic materials. So I'm actually going to start there real quick. And that website is www.assetbasedltc.com. And so once you type in that site in your URL, it will take you here. We've got a couple items here on the side I wanted to point out. We have our LTC state-by-state comparison tool that you can have access to. We have our quote calculator. We have our marketing toolbox, which is what I'll get into. But we also have some of our e-app resources, demo videos. We have all of our core brochures for both consumer and producer. So all these core brochures, funding option brochures, you have access to the digital version, the generic. We have some deep dive leave behinds. Once you scroll to the bottom of the page here, you'll be able to select which state that you reside in. So Florida, it will take you to all of the links to any of those resources that are filed and approved at the Florida level there. That's consumer facing. And then again, going back up here to producer facing content, we have got all of our reference materials, so process guides. At our process guides, we have some sales ideas. Gotta move this bar here. We have our process guides, some funding sources, sales ideas, all of which you can download and be able to view that digital version. Here on the side, we have our marketing toolbox. This is going to get into some of the campaign messaging and themes that we've developed over the year. We have running an effective campaign. It's a guide to help you get started. We have all of our broken down themed campaigns that are going to be either educational, or it's going to be more specific to funding. So when it comes to looking for educational content or content that you want specific to different funding opportunities for an extended care type solution, this is a great resource for you here at One America. We have some of our care benefit concierge resources. I want to highlight our lifetime protection campaign just because we've got a lot of great content, and just the look and feel of this messaging here is very compelling. We've got interactive video content, all of which can be shared through multimedia, whether it's through email, text, website, social media. We've got social media campaign graphics and captions that are created for either producer or consumer-facing audience. You've got also additional graphics here with a logo or no logo for One America, producer, consumer-facing that you can copy and paste and plug in some additional content there from a social media standpoint. And then we've got some producer-facing resources. Now, everything that we have on our toolbox here And you can see we've got both educational campaigns and product specific, funding specific, asset care and needy care campaigns is all the generic version. But we've got a platform that kind of takes things to the next level. And I'll finish up here with this. Now, this is a platform that we have to establish access for you to be able to log in. But once you have access to log in, there's no cost to be able to have access to a variety of different types of content, from print to email to social media, all of the multifaceted components that really help create a multi-touch point approach with a campaign. And what this allows you to do is create personalized resources. Not only can you personalize a variety of resources, but you can also distribute them. For the email, we have templates that imprint your headshot, your company logo, all your call to actions that we're helping you stay in front of your existing or prospective clients, help create awareness and education through an email format. Again, both we have the educational and the awareness focused materials that will be specific to either One America or just, foundational concepts. Here, you can see we've got all of our email templates. These are all the themes of campaigns that we've developed over the years. We've got presentations. If you're looking to put on any kind of, virtual or in-person consumer workshop, we've got everything you could possibly need, from the invitations to promote to the actual presentations, leave behind follow-up materials. We've got that all both in print and digital form. If you're looking to incorporate mailers, I think that mailers, direct mail is not dead. We have got a variety of different foldable mailers that we can not only do all the print, but we can mail direct through the use of this system. So all very turnkey solutions. And I know we put a huge focus on social, and I'll end on this note, but the most impressive component of this platform, not only, for ease of being able to deploy a variety of communications, but it's also in the integration with the social. So if you're active through LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, you can actually create an authorization through this platform so that you can have access to the content and be able to deploy entire social media campaigns within 3 clicks. So you can see here, these are all of the topics of content that we've created over the years, and constantly adding more to that. Not only that is specific to long-term care, extended care planning, but we have holiday content. We've got content around, retirement planning, Social Security, estate planning, etc. All available here at your fingertips. And the ease of use to be able to enhance what you're doing from a content standpoint is certainly, I think, a great value add, to your overall plan. And I know we're at the top of the hour here, but we can provide some additional, on-demand kind of walkthroughs to kind of take a little deeper look at what content looks like when it's personalized. That's a great opportunity, and if you have any interest in learning more, being able to get access to this great tool and be able to work alongside myself in developing a strategy that makes the most amount of sense for your business and what your needs and what your goals are, then reach out to your team there at Levinson, and they will direct you our way to either Keith or myself. But I want to stop there because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So Bill, if you want to finish us up, and my apologies for having to rush through there at the very end.
No, that was great, fantastic. I think what we need to do is set up another webinar too, Lauren, and just focus on this strategy and all of the options available through One America and your team. We'll spend like an hour on that because there's some great info there. Okay. Yeah. That was great. Once again, Keith and Lauren, thank you for that. I have just a couple more slides, and then we'll have our giveaway. So I'm going to ask a question that has to do with the slides that we just went over. So just real fast, get access now, obviously, to jump in and start using these resources. You do have to be appointed under Levinson. If you already have a One America contract and You can get a release and transfer it. We match or usually beat your commission, plus bonus, etc. So we'll send out a form in today's thank you email, and you can fill that out, send it back, and we have the leads for contracting or cash for contracting incentive as well. So take advantage of that. Next up, we have, and I'm not going to dive into this too far because we have just a couple minutes left. But we have literally over 10 different mailers. Lauren touched on the mailers and some of the co-branded marketing pieces you can send out through your own CRM, use on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all the above, even Twitter. So let us know if you're interested. We have a marketing section on the website you can also take a look at. As far as living benefits go, so we simplified your world. We have a 2-minute consumer living benefits video we can brand with your name, picture, logo for free. Okay, and we have some agents that are using the video for a Facebook ad, and they're generating literally 10, 20, 30 leads a day. Just focus on the new kind of life insurance that pays while you're still alive, living benefits insurance, right? So definitely take a look at that. And again, no charge. So let us know if you want us to set that up. Send us your picture, and we're all set. The Ringy CRM platform that I was talking about earlier, in fact, the new lead program, integrates right into your CRM platform with Ringy. So we did a podcast with the CEO, and it is amazing. We spent 1 hour, focused in on Ringy. What's the agent experience look and feel like? How should you be using this? Why it was created? How it was created? Well worth your time over this holiday weekend. We want to make it simple for you. That's the goal, right? So what we did is we handpicked 4 different training dates for webinars that you should definitely take a look at. If you have like a son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, admin assistant, someone that helps you with your marketing, right, or the technology, have them sit in on one of these trainings, and with you, of course. And the point is, after an hour, that you know enough to be dangerous and you're using the benefits of Ringy, because it's a game changer. I'm telling you, we're using it now just for marketing on the recruiting side, and it's huge. It made a big, big difference. So definitely worth your time. All right, agent training events. That's the next slide. Take a look at the blue section. That's our weekly live training events, which is what you're on right now. So the big, big, big one that you want to write down is June 1st. That's the new lead program. We're rolling this out on June 1st. So that afternoon, you can start ordering leads. We're going to have the owner of the company. We're going to have Ian, our agent that's using the program today and for a couple of years now. So he's going to be on. Definitely well worth the time spent. On the bottom, we have one of our go-to IUL carriers that also has living benefits, non-med up to $3 million. That's going to be a big one with a special guest speaker that you all know well. A little surprise. Keep your eyes peeled for the email. That's on the 2nd. So look for the email invites in your inbox. That's simple, You got to pay attention to that stuff when we send it out. You don't want to miss these. Last slide, and our quote of the week. This is our cute little Positive Tuesday quote. This is our way of keeping our name and our brand in front of our agents. And you should also do something weekly, monthly. You have to be known as the go-to when it comes to life insurance, living benefits. Remember the survey I mentioned in the beginning of the call, right? Look at the awareness. Look at how many millions of consumers are out there that said they are interested in talking to an agent, right? You have to be known as the go-to in South Florida. Oh, life insurance, Bill Levinson. You got to be known as that guy or girl. So do whatever it takes on LinkedIn, on all social media, through your CRM, through eBlast, through your website. It's so important. That's your new storefront. I always refer to it as the McDonald's on University Drive, right? That's what your website and social media should look and feel like. That's your storefront on the middle of I-95, whatever it is, Keep chasing your dreams, even if that means standing alone and being a little different. Stay true to yourself. Be unique. Get scrappy, Maybe you had an idea this last hour that you wrote down and said, I'm really going to focus on, final expense and burial just to get the door open. Then I'm going to pivot over to living benefits and IUL and retirement and tax saving strategies. Whatever it is, find your niche and run with it as fast and as long as you can. Okay, because it works. I'm telling you, the top agents, they all develop their little niche, right? And that's where most of the premium is coming from. So find your niche, get scrappy, run as fast as you can. Okay, I know it sounds simple, but it's the time and effort that you have to put in each and every day, and that's what separates the pros and the rookies. That's it. Okay, question of the day. Enough of my ranting. Make sure your little fingers are on your keyboard and you're ready to answer first and correctly. Remember, I spoke about our new lead program. We're launching June 1st. Okay, there's two types of leads, the local lead and the statewide lead. The local lead, here's the question, so get ready. The local lead, what is the radius? How many miles is the radius that is promised to you? So if your address is 5551 Coral Springs, how many miles is the radius around your specific location? Tell me the miles and you win on the local new life leads. By the way, up to their 1 million non-med exam life insurance leads. That's what sparked their interest. Okay, the local lead, what is the radius? How many miles are in that radius for the local life leads? Andrew, do we have a winner?
Yes, we do. John R. John R is the first correct answer.
John R. It's a 50-mile radius. That's the new local life leads. John R., congrats. Thank you, everyone, once again. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Happy Memorial Day. We'll see you next week and start to come up with some new scrappy ideas and then get the word out. That's the name of the game, and that's what this entire webinar training was about. Take care, and thanks again, everyone.